morning. Great morning. Wonderful mornings. Good morning. Outstanding morning. Magnificent morning. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious morning. Yes. Again and again and again and again. Yes. Again, the beautiful reminder to you, to me, to all of us that we get to choose. You always have a choice to decide what things mean. Things good or bad, it's our thinking that makes it so. Write that down in your notes again right now. I always have a choice. Yes, you do. You always have a choice. No one can force you to think the thoughts you think. You can maneuver through your life all the time, choosing whatever thought you want. Now, that right there, that one beautiful power, of which is your hidden power, can make all the difference in the world for anything that you're going through. Remember, what's happening right now in your life, it's fundamentally meaningless. It just is. Nothing is good or bad. It's our thinking that makes it so. You're the one that gets to give meaning to whatever that is, and whatever meaning you give it is going to lead to the feeling. And that feeling is going to determine the trajectory that you go. It's going to determine everything for you. And again, the reminder is it's all in your hands. And it's always going to be in your hands. You know, this reminds me of something so interesting, because I used to say this and believe this. And that's the statement that you're the only one that's stopping you. And you're the one that's got to change you. But actually, you don't have to change you at all. What you have to change is what's in you. And that's another beautiful truth that will help you to rid yourself of the weight, guilt, shame that's on your shoulders. Remember, it's not you that has to change, it's what's in you. And you get to decide what that's going to be. So, with that being said, my reminder for you is okay, now you know you could do it. So now let's do it. Now, the way that we have been doing it in these calls is through the use of what's been shared here by Charles and now, which is really awesome. Make sure you have a copy of this. More importantly, though, make sure you use what's being shared. That's the most important part. And then also as well, you know, we got other tools to use this and take notes. All right, so let's dive into this, shall we? Let's go into where we are in this magnificent, beautiful book. Right now, let me pull this up here. Boom, there it is. All right, so interesting. It's not moving. I can fix that. That's easy. There it is. There it is. Let's see, I can do this. All right, so here we're on page 165. Actually, 164 is where we are. And here, remember, we're talking about three things that everybody's basically seeking when it comes down to changes in their life. And that's health, wealth, then love. Here on this third section here, in terms of what this is, all will probably admit that love is the third, or some will say the first essential necessary to the happiness of mankind. At any rate, those who possess all three, health, wealth, and love, find nothing else which can be added to their cup of happiness. You know what's interesting about all these three? It's all based from making the decision about all of these. This reminds me of Tony Robbins, what he would say. It's in your moments of decision that your destiny is created. And in terms of happiness, there's another phrase by Deepak Chopra, which ties into this too as well, is be happy for no reason, just like a child. If you're happy for a reason, you're in danger. Why? Because that reason can be stripped away from you. But the point being is that this cup of happiness is all something that will come to you once you decide that it's going to be that way for you. But see, this is where you have to decide for you. Remember, you always have a choice. Now, we have found that the universal substance is all health, all substance, and all love. And that the mechanism of attachment whereby we can consciously connect with this infinite supply is our method of thinking. Isn't that interesting? What he's saying is that the way that we tap into the universal, God, the law, whatever it is that you look at, see, they're all the same. It's through use of our higher mental faculties. Remember, we live on 3 planes of understanding simultaneously. The spiritual, okay, first level, intellectual, and then the physical. Spiritual, intellectual, physical. And it goes in this order from the spiritual to the intellectual to the physical. Another way for you to see the spiritual is thought, then ideas is the intellectual. And then you have physical, which are the results, the outcomes. Now, in between, that intellectual is what I shared with you in terms of ideas. And those ideas come about through the use of your imagination, perception, reason, will, memory, and intuition. It's how you're thinking. And through the use of that middle section, that's what determines how much of the universal flows to and through you into the outer world, which is your results. Which you believe to be true. Habits, your capacity is how you're thinking. And you're the one that gets to choose what that is. Now, think about this for you, because here you can use crazy, awesome stick person. Know more about this. Get this, this will help you a lot. The method of thinking, which is in higher mental faculties, imagination, perception, reason, will, memory, intuition are here. Whatever's held here gets impressed here. And I want you to notice how it flows to and through here. Everything's got to go through the conscious before it gets subconscious. Hence, spiritual, intellectual, physical. Now, what's interesting, which is not talked about as much, is that in this middle section of the intellectual, follow the feelings and the actions and the results. But see, the problem lies in how we've been conditioned not to think that way. We've been conditioned to think from down here first. Think from the downside up instead of the upside down. When you think from the results of your life, when you think from how things are, you're just inviting into your mind the image of what that is, which means you're going to track to your thought process, thoughts that are in harmony with that, which then is going to lead to more of the same feelings, the same action. It's a cycle of hell. It's the same. So to think correctly is therefore to enter into the secret place of the Most High. You want to enter into the secret place of the Most High. Engage with the right way of thinking, which is good thinking, constructive thought. Don't fall prey to the complainers of the world. Those who are always talking about what's wrong, that's not fair. Oh my gosh, I can take this, take my. Don't listen to that. You got to listen to people who are solution oriented. Forward thinking in terms of growth, optimism. Don't follow the masses. So to think correctly is therefore to enter into the secret place of the Most High. Now, what shall we think? If we know this, we shall have found the proper mechanism of the attachment which will relate us to whatsoever these things we desire. Oh my gosh, that whatsoever things we desire is something that comes from the Good News book. Believe that ye shall receive them and ye shall have them. Look around you right now at the physical things that were made. There's not a single thing in the room you're in that was made which isn't there because of desire. Desire. Someone desired that. Somebody held the image on the screen of their mind, which then led to the outcome of that thing, whatever it is. And it's the same with regards to your income, lifestyle. If you want to change that, remember, that's something that's reaped. So if we know this, we know what we shall think, we shall have found the proper mechanism of attachment, which will relate us to whatsoever things we desire. This mechanism may seem very simple when I give it to you, but read on. You will find that it is in reality the master key, the Aladdin's lamp, master key system. If you please, you will find that it is the foundation, the imperative condition, the absolute law of well-doing, which means well-being.